And in this edition of Newsnight, Education Minister says the hordes of people that thronged the Black Star Square amidst collapse of 4 persons were all stage managed.
So be the problem, Omra. Obiso the popodi ni biso say me factures ka 20 cities 50 cities bankofo. Mo kwa chada mo muni.
In general, in trashing in a fake.
Maybe a fake.
Omo collapse.
Yes, maybe a fake.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Education Service assures hundreds of junior high school leavers who are challenges with their placement will have their issues resolved by Friday.
They will get it before Friday, on or before Friday. As we speak now, the 122,000 who were supposed to do self-placement, we have less than 40,000 now. So I believe that by Friday, as we're saying, probably the numbers may have come down to maybe 20,000 or even probably less.
We have details in our citizen-driven conversation, Dear Nanado, this week. The stories of the unemployed graduate of the School of Hygiene now doing menial jobs, including selling ice water to get by.
For people, then they pay me a little so that I can for myself.
So at times I even think, let me just don't think about it. But if I'm thinking about that, I don't really feel for. I lost my appetite.
And ahead of the Joy News Habitat Fair this weekend, we'll tell you how you can stop painting or the peeling of your paintings on your wall.
We've actually come up with chemically engineered paint to take care of dampness. Now, dampness caused by the rise in water levels.
And in business, Bank of Ghana cautions companies pricing in foreign currencies as it threatens sanctions against firms for non-compliance.
And in this 30 minutes edition of Newsnight, we'll be crossing over for a live commentary on that UEFA Champions League match between Napoli versus Liverpool. That's in sports at 6:30. My name is Evans Mensah. I
am MFA Paul, and news headlines on Newsnight is brought to you by Eden Heights. Eden Heights, welcome home. Do join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp on 0244 340437.
And Newsnight is brought to you by Puma Card from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience.
And tonight's Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, is alleging that the chaotic scenes witnessed at the Black Star Square yesterday was stage-managed. Joy News reported about the long winding queues, confusion, and near stampede that resulted in the collapse of 3 students and a parent.
Well, he failed to name those behind it. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, however, says most of the people we saw the Black Star Square were basked there to create the impression that all is not well with the computerized school placement system this year. Now, he spoke on Ekosi Sen on Asempa FM, but before we hear that interview, let's hear Joy News' Komala Dome's report from yesterday.
Under the sweltering sun, the junior high school leavers and their parents queued, hoping to get their placement challenges addressed. Frustration, confusion and anger visible on several faces. As a test of muscle and strength at the entrance of a solution center got intense, some, unable to withstand the chaos, lost consciousness. At least 3 students and an adult woman were rushed to the hospital, but that will not deter the hundreds from pushing for answers.
Well, that's the situation at the Black Star Square. We can now listen to the Minister of Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, in that interview on our sister station, Asempa FM, Kosi Sen, saying that all that we heard and this is part of that that we also saw on TV, we've seen on myjoyonline.com, were all staged. He was first asked how he rates his ministry's handling of the placement exercise.
Remember me home 85.
85. The SEO Independence Square in Echi.
Obi, the SEO Independence Quabrani and Jessica didn't go for good bass, Independence Square. Independence Square.
Obi didn't go for good bass.
That's where you book.
How?
So we may travel to my sister station, no broadcasting. But I don't say you man
but that's a serious allegation.
I'm telling you, Kobrani and Jessica say.
Kwabrane ben no.
Oh, se Ghana nsi ne mfa de ma no me president. Eje yida. Ekoso Ghana ensi emmo ne president o pe di nti. Ye nyina yemu no no kwa medi. Eje yida.
Na eno no ho
eno. Bi adwebodi wo bi adwebodi be kan ansa na ka Ghana.
Eno ne de Minister of Education e ka kire Ghana.
Bi di ka be kan no. Se obomo ho no. Bebiri edum guba so mezi.
No, but the point ne say omo aba be gu ho a obi ne ba eye bema yama ne girl school, obi oba yama ne boy school. Obi say
obi
of aboard in yama ne day. Are those not genuine concerns?
Obi computer dey a case obi e bema na obi oba. Ada form ni pa fail here. And ni pa mistake. So you say computer, is gibberish out.
Yes.
School placement contain information from WAEC. From WAEC, so we can notice errors. Obi was our problem, Libya. You be the whole juma. Then you mun trace here. Over trace here, we deeper 100 bia emu edu okuno. Obanya school na omumpe school na umanya no. Obanya program na omumpe program no umanya no. Ochusu day the day na man no. Enso se the upper body.
Nadri assessor. It cannot be say obi na that swan wa begu so omonya de omoye no. They have concern.
They say nipa bebre wo muso a ya bobu pass obey de omoye no.
Enti ye nim say social statistics na say de waka no nipa bebre na enya placement e na omo so omompe Omaba Bigu Independence Square. How that whole thing was managed, especially ENRA, to the extent that who's a man for be Chashi and all of that, no? Was it pleasant? Say, Uti ministry na Uti report na when ije
TV now. Eja there efe. Name so nim the body for be so ya. See e shadow obi. Last year he fan here no.
Yeah, independence
one there. We BC. So because I dream body when nipa body for be through Okromwa. O tebase. Kobe 2016. No problem Google na mo here. December near year placement. No problem check here. We interview your year placement also 2016. Or say we are this we are 3 times. It is not Kolam school till December. You're ready. 2017, the first time in over 10 years, I have been school boarding day students they continue students in United. A copy. 2018, we copy. 2019, you can say you be school. Oshe Colado Dua a year as house now. It is also the DIPA 473,000 co school. Now the DIPA 428,000 will be in their place. Also at the end of the year. The class will be called the said the Kepeno. And yet possible, so be CSSPS, but choose school above.
So you hear the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh there. So to it, he started by rating the placement system today, and he put it at 85%. He says that's how they've performed in terms of their handling of the placement exercise this year. Now, he also talked about someone busing people to the center, to the Black Star Square, the Solution Center, just to create the impression that all is not well with the system. And then he also insisted that those behind it want power, so they will do anything to paint the system black just so that they can get to the power. And then, but he stopped short of mentioning who were those behind it. You heard the host Obi asking him, who is this Kobrane? The Kobrane is more like Asimesi, sort of the things that we say that is someone, but he did not mention exactly who he thinks is behind it. And then he also raised, the host also asked him about the real challenges that people spoke to us about yesterday, that they do not have the schools, that there's a male that is placed in a female school, those who want boarding and they've been placed in day schools. And he says that, of course, these challenges are there, but if there is anyone, it means that the mistake was from the students, and then that they chose the wrong schools or so, and that nobody was placed in the wrong school. So if there's anyone who has that challenge, should come up and that it will be corrected. And then he insisted again, the host asked him about the faintings and the collapses that we saw yesterday. We're told, Joy News reported that 3 students, and then 1 parent, in all 4 persons collapsed. And the host asked him that if he's pointing to the fact that these were fake as well. He says, of course, some of them were fake. And so that's basically what he's been telling Obi on Ekosiseng on Asempa FM.
And also on the point where he makes the allegation about this person he will name, this faceless individual, he says, is behind the orchestration of these faintings. He says, he was asked who the person is, and he says, well, somebody who wants to govern this country and lead us, and because of the politics and his desire, to become a president, so he wants Ghana to burn, and because of that, they want to destroy the country, and that individual or those group of people are the people behind what he calls fake enactment of faintings, etc. Let's go on to the phone lines. Let's speak to Komla Adom, our reporter who has been on the ground since yesterday all day covering this for us. Komla, let's start with the buses that the minister alleges that some of the people were bused there. Did you see buses delivering people to the Black Star Square?
Evans, I did not see buses delivering people to the Black Star Square. In fact, the only bus I saw was a bus of Som Academy, which is a private senior high school based in the central region, Cape Coast, which was there with its team to advertise spaces or admission slots in their school for prospective senior high school students. That was the bus I saw at the Black Star Square yesterday.
You also witnessed the passing out of some of these students and a parent. Those who collapsed, some of them you witnessed. We've seen the videos. Describe the state in which you saw them.
So, Evans, these were, first off, the first one, she was a young girl. She was wearing an orange T-shirt. So at the time, there was a mad rush to get into the entrance of the Solution Center. You know, there was pushing and shoving. Security officials were stopping the people from getting into it. So that was the point that this young lady tripped, and a few other people around her almost stepped on her. And so that was when there was an alarm that somebody had fallen unconscious, and so there was a call for people to give way, so she's conveyed into a private vehicle. At this point, there was not an ambulance, so they had to rush her and scream, pave way, pave way, pave way. And so then the people had to pave way. She was taken to a private vehicle first. It appeared the driver of the vehicle was not available. She was being poured with water. She was being fanned. Her shirt was almost removed so she could get a lot of breathing space. Before there was a 4x4 black vehicle which pulled up, tooting the horn, and she was put in that vehicle and taken away. The second person was in a black shirt. She was light-skinned, not as dark as the first young lady. She also passed out as a result of the sweltering sun, as we were told. Before we knew it, there was a long queue that was leading from one of the stands to the entrance of the Solution Center, had this young lady in the queue with her mother, and before we knew it, there was attention being drawn to her that she had fallen unconscious, and then the security officials went there. At this time, an ambulance showed up, and then she was put in the ambulance and taken away. There was a third girl who also, under a similar circumstance, this time she was almost on the top, on the arc of the Independence Square. For those who know the Independence Square, you know that there's an arc, and it sits almost like an elevation, the first floor. There was a queue on that floor as well, and we were told that an individual in that queue also yesterday also had an issue. She was brought all the way down, also to an ambulance, a waiting ambulance at the entrance of the Solution Center, taken to a hospital. Then the last person, who was a parent, I would say she was a middle-aged woman. She had a straight black dress on. She was being helped side by side by the two ambulance service officials who were sporting green attire, and they held her into the vehicle amidst fanning and water pouring, etc. So these were the people who passed out while I was there during the exercise yesterday, Evans.
And come on, stay with me, because you've also been having a conversation with the Accra Regional SWAT Commander, DSP Suleiman Asule Jr. He has been speaking about security arrangements to ensure the orderly process.
We're all not happy to see what happened here yesterday when the numbers swelled up. And the people here actually could not even continue with the work. So we had a meeting, the regional police commander, his second in command, the regional operations officer, and then a few officers. We came around and had a meeting with them. And then so moving forward, we have to review our security arrangements. And that's exactly what we did today. The officials of the school placement and the GES also made us to understand that they have categorized the people. Not everybody here is here with the same problem. So they actually detail officers and then different decks to attend to these issues. So this morning, having put these crash barriers to control and manage the crowd around this act, just to enable the people working to be able to work, we spoke with them and then we put them in the various groupings so that if you had scored between an aggregate of 6 and 7, 8, 9 and 10, you were put under a particular shed. And then if you are here with a special case, you are also put together and then under a particular shed. Today we didn't want anybody to form a winding queue and then stand in the sun, but to put them under the shed. And so with the arrangement we have under the Act, at each time or particular time, we go in and bring in, say, about 20 people with a particular issue, and then they sit down. After they have finished attending to them, we go in again to the stands and bring in another batch.
You heard that the Accra Region SWAT Commander, DSP Suleiman Sule Jr. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwah, has been assuring that all the challenges witnessed so far regarding the placement exercise will be resolved by Friday.
I believe we had the situation that we had yesterday because we did not work here on Monday, on Saturday and Sunday. So being the first day of the week, we expected a lot of people to come around to come and see what was going on and how they could get their things done. Now today, from the experience of yesterday, we were going to close the place up. But when we came here in the morning, we realized that people had already come to sleep here and are queuing and things like that. So what we've done is that, just as I said, we have put them in the problem areas or the issue areas. So if you look up there, it's one issue. If you look here, there's one issue here. There's another group in that order. So based on the issue that you are bringing, you go to the various places. And I think now everything is working. And we are not changing schools. It is part of your selection, which you did yourself. If for any reason you want to change from day to a boarding school, it won't happen. But if you want to change from day to day, then we could get you to a closer place. If, for example, you've chosen a day school in Volta region and you want a day school in Eastern region, that one, when you get to them, they will note it down, and then we'll get you a closer school, a school that is closer to you, that you can still do your day as is required.
I've spoken to some people who have gone through this procedure and are leaving. They say they've been asked to expect a phone call by Friday to know which of the schools exactly their wards are going. What if they do not get their phone calls? Some of them seem unsure.
They will get it before Friday, on or before Friday. As we speak now, the 122,000 who are supposed to do self-placement, we have less than 40,000 now who have not done self-placement. So in spite of all the issues that we are talking about, a lot of people are doing the self-placement and they are on it. So I believe that by Friday, as we're saying, probably the numbers may have come down to maybe 20,000 or even probably less.
Kamala, you were there yesterday. You've been there today. Have you seen any improvement?
Whatever said, in terms of the numbers, well, yesterday they were overwhelming. Simply overwhelming for the number of officials who were attending to them, and in fact the number of police officials who were also there to control the crowd. Compare that to what happened today, marked improvement, because today we had significantly less numbers of people who were there, an improved number of security deployment, as we heard the SWAT Accra Region Commander speak in that soundbite. Almost about 30 police officials who were there, and it was a more orderly process today as well, because there was a barricade where the parents and the students were called in batches of 20 to get to the solution center to attempt to get their problem solved. As compared to the situation yesterday, which was almost like a free-for-all situation, the survival of the fittest kind of scenario there. So in terms of the numbers, huge numbers yesterday, significantly less numbers today. In terms of the chaos which characterized the process yesterday, of course, yes, we saw individuals passing out, as we have reported here on this network. Today, because there was an orderly process and coordinated process ongoing, and no reports of anybody passing out. In fact, the parents who had showed up there today, some of them passed the night at the Black Star Square. Evans reported that this morning. So imagine they were almost like the first people to get access to the solution center to begin to get their challenges resolved. And then when it comes to the processes itself, getting the officials to get their problems addressed, I talked to some of the parents who say, well, there was an improved process because what the officials did was they went around the entire square and they posted a list of about 80 to 90 senior high schools on posters on the Black Star Square and asked that all those who did not get placed should go and select 2 of the schools out of the list there, and then they will be called and led by the police to the solution center where they are going to meet officials of the CSSPS and the GES who will take their details, their result slips and all of that, and then begin the processes to get them placed from there. Right after that, they are assured that between now and Friday, they will receive a phone call to know which of the 2 schools they selected out of a pool of a list that they posted on the premises that their daughter or son will be able to attend. So that was the processes, and then it was almost seamless because the parents understood it. There was better communication today, and there was no chaos at all, and the numbers significantly reduced because some of the people I spoke to also who were there yesterday talk about the self-placement system challenges they had. And we also had a GS officials say that there was a problem with the software and the network, for which reason those who registered from Monday to Wednesday last week had their placements annulled, and so they were directed to go and do the process all over again.
And we hear from the GS that placement problem has now been fixed. Comrade Dome has been following that. Comrade, thank you very much, and he's going to be there tomorrow again as to track the progress and improvements made so far.
Now, this week on Dear Nanado, we hear the stories of the graduates of the School of Hygiene who were promised jobs after completion but are now doing menial jobs just to get by. In today's episode, we shine a light on 2 stories, that of the graduate selling iced water and the story of another graduate washing clothes for a living. They are worried that a promise by the president in the lead up to the 2016 elections to employ them is yet to see the light of day. Jojo Kobna reports.
Unemployed since 2017, it has not been easy for Dorcas. So after failing to get a job as an environmental health officer, she tried to be enterprising.
We've not been posted since we completed school, and this is what I found myself doing, just to fend for myself. I do laundry for people, then they pay me a little so that I can for myself. It's not easy. It cannot be easy.
So as she moves from one house to another in search of dirty laundry, she's still hopeful of covering placement of a job as an environmental health officer.
It depends on the quantity of the things, but sometimes 10 cedis, 20 cedis, 25. Yeah. If it goes higher, that means the person wants you to clean the whole house, like scrubbing, cleaning the windows, everywhere, mopping. Then they'll give you 50 or 60. Getting into the school, we were bonded that after completing, writing your licensure exams and everything, you'll be posted. So I thought immediately after I complete, I'll get posted.
And that is an excerpt from the Dear Nanado latest episode, which will be airing tomorrow. My colleague Kweko Supra joins me in the studio for a quick chat about what to expect. This episode focuses on employment?
Yes, unemployment. And this, you remember that last week's episode focused on unemployment amongst people that didn't have a lot of skill or school. This one focused on, and it represents the stories of the thousands, actually millions of Ghanaian young men and women who have completed universities who don't have jobs. Remember also that in the lead up to the 2016 elections, when at the campaign launch of the NPP, President Akufo-Addo took a swipe at President Mahama and cited examples of students, graduates from the university, the School of Hygiene, who had not been posted and who had no jobs. So, in tracking the promises and the implementation of those promises, we sought to find these young people who have had education but are still home unemployed, as President Akufo-Addo used as a case to represent the situation of unemployment and accused the former government of being insensitive So this is just to say that, okay, here we are. These boys and girls still need jobs.
Quickly, thank you very much. This is going to be airing tomorrow on the Super Morning Show and across our networks, also myjoyonline.com. Let's do some business now. And George, we are faced here with the very latest. Hello, George.
Well, Evans, coming up in business, the Bank of Ghana is cautioning companies pricing in foreign currencies as it threatens actions against them for non-compliance, and also work on some $60 million cocoa processing factory in Sisiria, so in the Western region, set to commence work from next year. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First Bank, the underbank that understands your business. Let's now settle for the details. The Bank of Ghana has indicated that it would actually severely deal with firms that continue to price in foreign currencies despite several warnings. Officials of the bank disclosed this to Joy Business today after they led a team to check on firms and forex bureaus that are dealing in these currencies in the metropolis. In a related development, the Bank of Ghana has also served notice to forex bureau operators who are not complying with the rules of engagement when it comes to dealing with their customers. Let's hear from Ajua Kunedu Toto, who is head of Forex Bureau Examinations at the Other Financial Services Department of the Bank of Ghana.
For the general public and other stakeholders who price their things in foreign currency instead of the cedi, we are saying that moving on, after this caution, after this alert, education, our directives comes with a punishment, or should I say a sanction, said that if you flout this, such violations are punishable by summary conviction, a fine of up to 700 penalty units, or imprisonment, a term where you'll be imprisoned, or both. You'll be imprisoned, 700 penalty, and each penalty unit attracts like 12 cedis. So you have to multiply it and see the rippling effect.
And that's the head of Forex Bureau Examinations at the Other Financial Institutions Department at the Bank of Ghana, Ajua Kunedu Toto. And let's get some other stories. And construction work on the $60 million cocoa processing factory in Sesiria in the Western region should commence work from the first quarter of next year. This was disclosed after Cocoa Board signed a memorandum of understanding with the China Africa Development Fund that is going to actually finance the construction of the factory. The factory processes about 40,000 metric tons of cocoa beans every year for export, mainly for the Chinese market. Let's hear from the Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahinedu.
Signing ceremony is to give meaning to the cocoa processing factory that is to take place as you also to be implemented by Genatech and then Ghana Cocoa Board, course in a public-private partnership involving the China International Development Cooperation Agency, China Development Bank, and Sino Africa.
Mr. Boahinedu is Chief Executive of Cocoa Board. An indigenous insurance firm, Prime, has taken controlling interest in the food processing firm that is Samba Foods. Now, this was after Unisecurities transferred 54% in Samba to the insurance firm. The deal was completed last month and involves the transfer of almost 3 million shares. According to a release to investors, Unisecurities partially settled the financial obligations due that is Prime Insurance Company. By completing this transfer, Unisecurities Ghana shall no longer hold that significant stake in Samba Foods. And that's all for business.
George, thank you very much.
And let's talk about the Joy News Habitat Fair happening this weekend. One issue that most people who own buildings have to grapple with all the time is the wall being damp, and then you see that your painting on your wall continually peel off. In an interview with Joy News ahead of the 2019 Habitat Fair scheduled to take place from the 20th to the 22nd September 2019, CEO of Imperial Oasis and Realty Construction, Dr. Elon Bryan, stated that one of the ways to solve the problem is to use damp-proof paints.
We've actually come up with chemically engineered paint, which is also a textured paint, to take care of dampness. Now, dampness, as we already know, is caused by the rise in water levels of the ground. So it enters and permeates your walls, and once it stays there, it germinates and causes certain bacterials, and it causes several effects on the building structurally and integrally. So it's very important that wherever you are, you look for qualified persons to take care of your building from scratch. That notwithstanding, we also know that even in mountainous locations, there's still tendencies that you feel dampness, or dampness affects your wall. Dampness basically, as you see, is the peeling of the walls. The walls begin to peel off, the mortar works begin to deteriorate, and efflorescence begins to happen on the walls. That is the chipping of the block work and then the mortar works on your wall. So it has also got to do with situations where in higher altitudes there is a process we call the fog, or fog happens in certain areas of which you have to also solve. And the way to solve it is to use our chemically engineered damp-proof paint to take care of that. There are infections that are caused by fungal and bacterial that feed on these walls. That causes it to peel, as I was telling you about. And they cause inflammation of the lungs, inflammation of the arteries in the body, and it also causes very deadly diseases like bronchitis and anything that is related to your respiratory system. So it's very, very important that you take care of it irrespective of your children.
And that's Dr. Elon Bryan. He's the CEO of Imperial Oasis and Realty Construction. Of course, there will be loads of damp-proof paints for you. It will be available at the Accra International Conference Center. It will be on exhibition. It's happening from the 20th to the 22nd of September 2019. It's a Joy News Habitat Fair. Everything home, you need to be there.
I'm buying that damp-proof. I'm going there purposely for that. And the last time I checked, they will actually come and install it for you. Install it for you once you buy. And so it's absolutely good you do that. That's it for News Night tonight. My name is Evans Mensah.
I am MF Papa.
Up next is that European Champions League game between Napoli and Liverpool. Stay with us.